Imagine this. You wake up and the first thing you do is reach for your phone. Before your feet touch the floor, before your brain fully registers that you exist, you are scrolling. Instagram, messages, news. The dopamine rush hits before consciousness does. You feel like you are starting your day, but really, you are letting the entire world colonize your mind before you have had a single original thought. That first hour, it is not yours anymore. It belongs to algorithms, to other people, to the chaos of 1,000 voices screaming for your attention. And here is the thing: that moment, that tiny window of decision, is writing the script for your entire life. What you just experienced is called decision fatigue before you have even made a real decision. Your brain wakes up with a limited amount of willpower, like a health bar in a video game. Every choice you make drains it a little, and if the first thing you do is hand that power over to your phone, to reactive behavior, to entropy, you have already lost the day before it started. Your morning routine is not just about productivity. It is a diagnostic tool. It reveals whether you are the author of your life or just an NPC wandering through someone else's story. This is called the morning diagnostic principle. It is the idea that the structure of your first waking hour is a mirror reflecting your future, not your goals, not your dreams, your actual future. Because intentions do not build lives, patterns do. And your morning is where patterns are either forged or fractured. If you wake up in chaos, you will live in chaos. If you wake up reactive, your entire existence will be a response to external demands. But if you wake up intentional, if you protect that first hour like it is sacred, you start to reclaim your life one sunrise at a time. The science behind this is brutal and beautiful. Your brain operates on something called the reticular activating system, the RAS. It is a network of neurons that filters what you pay attention to based on what you have primed it to notice. If you wake up scrolling through disaster headlines and comparing yourself to influencers, your RAS gets programmed to scan for threats, inadequacy, and external validation all day long. You are literally teaching your brain what reality looks like, and it believes you. But if you wake up and do something intentional, moving your body, sitting in silence, you are programming your RAS to seek clarity, opportunity, and control. You are not just changing your mood. You are rewriting your perception of what is possible. Here is where it gets darker. Most people do not have a morning routine. They have a morning reflex. They stumble out of bed, hit snooze 3 times, grab their phone, chug coffee, and sprint into the day like they are late for a flight that never lands. They think they are busy. They think they are hustling. But what they are actually doing is training their nervous system to live in a state of permanent emergency. And the body keeps score. Cortisol floods the system. The brain stays in fight or flight mode. Decision-making becomes impaired. Emotional regulation crashes. And over months, years, decades, this becomes your baseline. You are not living. You are surviving. And survival mode does not build empires. It builds burnout. The mechanism here is neurochemical hijacking. When you wake up and immediately consume content, especially social media, you trigger a dopamine spike. Dopamine is the chemical of wanting, not having. It makes you crave the next thing, and the next, and the next, but it does not satisfy you. So you start your day in a state of craving. You feel behind before you even begin. Your brain is hooked on the slot machine of notifications. And every buzz, every like, every comment is another pull of the lever. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning, self-control, and rational thought, is getting weaker. You are literally rewiring yourself to be more impulsive and less capable of the deep work that creates success. Now compare that to someone who wakes up differently. They do not touch their phone for the first hour. They drink water. They move. They sit in silence or write in a journal. They read something that expands their mind instead of compressing it. What is happening in their brain? Their cortisol levels stabilize. Their prefrontal cortex stays strong. They experience what researchers call quiet mind state, where the default mode network, the part of the brain responsible for self-reflection and creativity, gets to do its work. They are not reacting. They are creating. And that difference, compounded over time, is the difference between someone who shapes their life and someone who gets shaped by it. The takeaway is this: your morning is a vote. Every single day, You are voting for the person you are becoming. You can vote for distraction or depth, reaction or intention, chaos or control. And the terrifying part, most people do not even realize they are voting. They think mornings just happen to them. But here is the truth: if you do not design your morning, someone else will. Your boss will, your phone will, your anxiety will, and they do not care about your future. They care about their own agenda. Let me take you deeper. Imagine this. You wake up, and instead of reaching for your phone, you sit up, drink a full glass of water, and take 10 deep breaths. You are not trying to be productive yet. You are just becoming present. You feel the weight of your body. You notice the light coming through the window. You let your mind settle like sediment in a jar. This is not meditation. This is just existing without input. And in that space, something happens. Your brain stops defending. It stops performing. It remembers what it actually wants instead of what it has been conditioned to want. This is the moment when clarity lives. This is when the real you, the one buried under notifications and obligations, gets to speak. This is called the priority reset. Most people wake up and immediately load someone else's priorities into their brain. Emails, messages, news, other people's emergencies. And once that happens, the day is no longer theirs. They are playing defense for the next 16 hours. But when you protect your morning, when you give yourself even 30 minutes of undiluted, uninterrupted presence, you get to decide what matters. You get to set the tone. You get to choose the first thought instead of inheriting it. And that choice, repeated daily, becomes the foundation of everything else. Here is the evolutionary angle. Your ancestors woke up to danger, predators, rivals, scarcity. Their morning routine was survival. Scan the horizon, check for threats, move fast or die. And that wiring is still in you. Your brain is still looking for threats the moment you wake up. But in the modern world, those threats are not lions. They are emails, comparisons, manufactured urgency. Your brain cannot tell the difference. It just knows something is wrong. Something needs your attention. Something is about to go bad. So you wake up anxious. You wake up behind. And you never catch up because you started the race already losing. The mechanism is called threat priming. When you wake up in reactive mode, your brain gets primed to see the day as dangerous. Every notification feels urgent. Every task feels overwhelming. You are not calm. You are not confident. You are just trying to put out fires. But if you wake up and do something that signals safety to your nervous system, movement, breath work, stillness, you are telling your brain that you are not in danger. You are in control. And when your brain feels safe, it stops hoarding energy for survival and starts investing it in growth. You think clearer. You create better. You show up stronger. Now, me hit you with the part no one talks about. Your morning routine does not just affect you. It affects everyone around you. If you wake up scattered, you bring that energy into every conversation, every meeting, every relationship. People feel it. They might not name it, but they sense that you are not fully there. You are distracted. You are reactive. You are running on fumes. And over time, that erodes trust. It weakens connection. It makes you forgettable. But when you show up grounded, when you have already done the work to center yourself before the day even starts, people notice. You are present. You are calm. You are the person who does not panic when things go wrong. And that energy, that is magnetic. That is leadership. That is the difference between someone people follow and someone people tolerate. This is the contagion effect. Your internal state is contagious. If you are chaos, you spread chaos. If you are clarity, you spread clarity. And it all starts with how you meet the morning. Because the morning is the only time you have full control. Once the day begins, once other people enter the picture, you are in the current. But the morning, that is still yours. That is the time when you get to build the foundation that everything else stands on. Here is another angle. Your morning routine is a form of self-respect. It is you saying, matter enough to give myself this time. My mind matters. My body matters. My future matters. And when you skip it, when you roll out of bed and dive straight into the chaos, you are sending yourself a different message. You are saying, I'm not worth the effort. Other people's needs come first. I will get to myself later. except later never comes. The day swallows you whole, and you go to bed exhausted, promising yourself that tomorrow will be different. But it will not be. Not until you make the morning non-negotiable. The takeaway here is brutal. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. And it starts with the morning. If you do not protect your time, no one else will. If you do not prioritize your mental space, the world will fill it with garbage. Your morning routine is not selfish. It is survival. It is the only way to stay human in a world designed to turn you into a machine. Let me paint you one more picture. Imagine this. You wake up and you have a ritual, not a rigid checklist. A ritual, something that feels sacred. Maybe you make coffee slowly, with intention. Maybe you sit outside and watch the sunrise. Maybe you write 3 pages of whatever is in your head. No filter, no judgment. It does not matter what it is. What matters is that it is yours. It is the one thing you do every day that no one can take from you. And over time, that ritual becomes your anchor. When life gets chaotic, when everything feels uncertain, you still have the morning. You still have that one unshakable thing. And that stability, that is where confidence comes from. Not from success, from consistency. This is called the anchor principle. High performers do not rely on motivation. They rely on anchors. Small, repeatable actions that keep them tethered to their identity even when everything else is falling apart. And the morning is the most powerful anchor you have, because it is the one thing you can control no matter what. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control other people. You cannot control whether your plans work out. But you can control whether you show up for yourself in the morning. And that control, practiced daily, builds the kind of resilience that external circumstances cannot break. Here is the final truth. Your morning routine reveals your future because it reveals your relationship with yourself. It shows whether you see yourself as someone worth investing in or just another task to manage. It shows whether you are living intentionally or just drifting. And the future does not belong to the smartest people or the most talented people. It belongs to the people who show up every single day, even when it is hard, even when no one is watching. The morning is where that decision gets made. Not once, every single day. And those decisions, stacked over months and years, become a life. Your life, the one you designed, or the one that designed you.